Well, hello. On this short video, I want to bring out one particular point that can happen for leaders when they're leading teams in a rapidly changing environment. And it was kind of interesting. I had a previous client that I was coaching who did very well, but in our coaching engagements, one of the things he talked about one of his reports that it wasn't as effective as they needed to be. And in fact, he mentioned that one week his report had actually said, "Why are you treating me like a 26-year-old? I've been in this industry for a while." And there was obviously some resistance to it. And it was interesting as we were talking about this, and I was asking him some questions and got him to kind of explore through the dynamics and all that. He brought out one of Blanchard's concepts, which is a very valid concept. In fact, he walked to the board and drew the short graph, and it's a graph of progress that goes from when you have to tell somebody to progress made, and then they're kind of doing it, and you're just kind of observing kind of thing. And it was interesting because in the process of describing that, this client said, so often I have to go back to the telling mode. And after he got done saying that, I said, well, let me ask you something. I said, he looked at me and said, what? And I said, why do you think you need to go all the way back? And that was a huge moment of value for him, just in thinking through that question. I brought out the idea that so often as leaders, very often we can be right in that we want to do the right thing, but we do it in a wrong way, or a way that doesn't get us there. And I brought out an analogy in aviation. It's sort of interesting that when you think of aviation and flying airplanes with automation, in aviation there's 4 levels of automation. There's a level where you're just hand flying your airplane, period. The next level up, you use some basic flight guidance, but you're still flying. The third level up is where you're on autopilot doing some basic stuff. And the fourth level is when everything's automated. The airplane's doing everything for you. And one of the things I pointed out to him, something that is very common in aviation, is if things start to get out of kilter, you don't have to go all the way back to the bottom. You just have to go back to where you're in control again, and you're getting the results that you want. And that was huge for this client. In fact, it's one of the things at the end of our coaching engagement that he said was a real value for him. And he also spelled out that because of a different interaction with his reports, he found this particular interaction working out a whole lot smoother. So I want to leave that with you just for this week in thinking about that aspect of it. What do you need to do about it? How can they interact in a more effective manner? How many times do you see somebody going all the way back to the beginning when they don't need to? Only go back as far as you need to. I'll leave that with you for this week.